Hey, Eric.
Hey, Chris.
Have you ever thrown axes before?
Absolutely not.
Oh, I went last weekend, sometime recently, and threw axes with our friends at a wood target.
Yeah. Was it like bowling, but in the air?
You know how like when you're playing a video game and like the monster destruction is really good and it feels really good?
Like an ease game.
I haven't played the modern ones, but yeah.
Enemies bust up real good in ease games.
Yeah, I think The Secret of Mana was the first game that had really great enemy busting animations.
Technology.
But anyway, axe throwing is like bowling, but with better enemy destruction.
Really? Does the board shatter into a million pieces?
No, like it's not 10 pins falling over. It is the satisfaction of the blade of the axe going into the wood and not the whole thing just doinking off. It makes it clean.
Does it doink off frequently? Like, what is the doink off?
It depends on how shitty you are at it.
All right.
For whatever reason, I wasn't shitty at this. I'm usually shitty at most physical activities for the first time I try. And I was kind of okay. Like I threw my first 15 to 20 throws, no doinks. You want to hear some hot sounds that I've recorded?
Throw an axe at my face.
I can't do it.
The guitar axe.
Stop fooling around, kid.
Welcome to Retrograde Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast where we discuss classic Japanese role-playing games, chapter by chapter, beat by beat. My name is Chris, and I'm joined today by Eric. Hello, Eric.
Japanese role-playing games, also called Japanese role-playing Gs.
Yeah, they are for sure. We are also joined by The Real Net. The Real Net is a collective of patrons who are listening to us record live. You too can join this Real Net if you would like to join The Real Net at patreon.com/retroam. Tonight's episode, or today, or whenever you're listening to this, is brought to you by Panda Pajamas 17.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Panda Pajamas 17, for a couple of things, actually. Your support, your participation in the community, and sick emotes.
That's good, yeah.
The Thanks Mark one, It's a Panda Pajamas 17 joint.
It's a really good one.
Thanks, Mark.
You're very welcome, Chris.
We're also joined by the FakeNet, our post-production AI companion, and also the entity that styled Mega Man's hair during that pan-up skyscraper shot at the opening of Mega Man 2.
Initializing FakeNet.
Robot boys have real human hair. Think about that.
How many frames of animation do you think that is? I want to go 4.
The pan-up or just the hair?
No, just the hair. Or how many sprite?
Since you already said 4, I'll go over and say 6. FakeNet, how many frames of animation do you think that actually is by your computer person judgment?
Initializing FakeNet.
Looks like it's just 2.
6 shot though.
Okay, yeah, it's great. So you know what's also great?
Suikoden 2?
Retrograde Amnesia, the podcast.
That's right. We're making it.
We're
good.
We're making these moments for people. We're mass-producing moments for people today. And we are at the Muse with the tavern still, right?
Yeah, we're at Muse.
Can you give me a brief update on what happened just before this? Because I forgot. I think we've met Anabelle.
Let me go listen to the other podcast at 100x speed real quick. Okay, done.
Okay, yeah.
We were waiting for Jowy to come home from his mass murder.
That's right, and he did come home from his mass murder, and that is a good point that you make there, because we have no context for that scene.
Right, that is speculative mass murder.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know, because he didn't come home in like a blood cloud or anything. Mm-hmm. I also want to point out that Chris didn't wait for him, and that I was the true friend.
Yes, I pressed the button too fast, unfortunately.
It's a beautiful morning.
It is.
Plays.
Morning is playing. Got to go to this place.
We're asleep side by side in 2 bunk beds, Chris. You can overlook that.
We are? Bunk beds?
Well, not like twin beds. I'm sorry.
Buddy beds?
Buddy beds.
Buddy beds.
Right next to each other for your buddy.
Yeah.
Nanami rushes in and asks how long we're going to sleep. Jowy begs to sleep a little longer, and Nanami knows he hates mornings. Nanami tells us that time has passed, saying she knows it was rough, but it's already been how long?
A week?
It's been a week.
Yeah.
We just time traveled. She says, snap out of it. The boys get out of bed, and Nanami says, come on, let's go. Something's about to start at Jowston Hill. People have come from all over the place. Is it a festival? Maybe something like that. I'm like, oh, it's the Hilltop conference. That shit they've been talking about?
It's gotta be. We've heard that from 4 NPCs.
We party up and get out of here. Did you do anything before we went to the conference?
No, I did not. I just enjoyed... well, you know what? Climb that hill doesn't play once we leave here, it's morning all the way up there.
Yes.
Which is weird because we're about to actually climb that hill, and climb that hill's not playing, but that's good for you, I think, because you don't like that song.
It's less of a hill and more of a wheelchair accessible ramp.
Yeah, that's what I call it. I called it a slope that helps you get up a craggy mountain, because there's like some craggy rocks in the back a little bit.
No hand railing necessary.
Right.
And one that is plainly visible from Muse's depiction on the world map too. You can actually see it when the city zooms out.
Cool.
The very top provides a scenic overview of the vista below. Who's up here waiting for us?
Well, you missed one thing. The large totem at the top of the path.
The hell is that?
It's just a totem. It's like a phallus statue sitting at the top of that thing.
I love phallic statues. I'm sorry I missed that.
But yes, Victor is up here waiting for us. Or maybe he's not waiting for us. He's probably just hanging out, right?
Yeah, he asks us if we're here for the view, which is clearly like a play on what we're supposed to be doing. He's like, oh, shit, you all happen to be here too?
Yeah.
Jowy asks Victor what's going on, and Victor explains that it's a meeting of the leaders of the city-state of Jowston. This is Jowston Hill, so they call it a Hilltop conference.
I've been really confused about the concept of the city-state of Jowston, or the Jowston city-state.
I've given up.
I think I finally understand.
Then explain it to me as you would a child.
So in a lot of cases, they say city-state of Jowston, or maybe we've been reading it that way, but it's actually the city-states of Jowston. So Jowston is the hill, and the multiple city-states, the 5 or 6 city-states, all are in league with one of each other.
Are you telling me that I've copied down city-state without an S 5,000 times?
No, I'm not, because the game could have been just not getting it right.
Right.
Because the concept was introduced in the last game before probably all this was planned out.
Okay,
so.
I just need to verify that reality is the same for both you and me here.
But also, I noticed in the instruction manual of this video game, because I have it, it was very obviously localized by somebody different than that localized the game. Because
the manual is marketing copy, and the rest is actual in-game stuff, really.
And they call it the Jowston League of City-States, plural.
I like that.
That makes way more sense. That helps you contextualize what the heck is going on here.
So the Highland is the American League, and they're the National League, and it's the all-star game every night.
Well, that is kind of close, because we'll skip ahead just a tiny bit. There's an NPC later that tells us that this used to be the Dunan monarchy.
Yes.
And that monarchy actually ruled this area, Highland and the city-states. So actually, the Major League Baseball analogy works pretty well.
The Dunan monarchy rules.
Yeah.
Leaders of the 5 city-states, Muse, South Window, Green Hill, the Matilda Knights, and I forget.
Yeah.
But the one he forgot, or the one he said, I was like, Green Hill. The Green Hill Zone?
Yeah, we'll be there one day. Yeah.
Also, I immediately hoped that our friend Window from Suikoden lived in South Window.
That's true.
Also, there is a North Window present we'll get to later, and I wonder if it used to be like, the city is devastated. I wonder if like how long ago that was, and if it used to be the 6 city-states, and they're like, nah, fucking rub one off.
North Window was mentioned in Suikoden 1. The city was just localized different. I can tell you something about it, and it might give you a hint about what's going to happen later, but...
Don't do it.
Okay.
Suikoden the past one had an unfortunate thing of like naming a town and a guy the exact same thing, and they had nothing to do with each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
I can stop localizing in spreadsheets and invent better shit from 25 years ago.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Or Victor said this should be interesting, right?
Yeah, he said you should see it. It'll be something to tell your grandkids about, I'm sure. And I can't tell if that's sarcasm. Does he think like people are going to like brawl and scream and be like fucking parliament, whatever that they do over there?
Do you think Victor's a secret like history buff kind of guy? Like he cares about events and he wants to be there?
I think that's more dad interest than Victor interests.
Okay.
Like I think Victor has like the knowledge necessary to work it to his advantage, but I think he has no genuine interest in any of this shit.
Yeah.
He just wants to get paid from one of these fuckers who's going to be here, and they all are capable of paying him to do shit.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
The thing is, Victor would probably do this work for free.
Yeah.
But if you can get paid for it, make a podcast that's good.
Yeah. If you don't work, you don't eat.
That's right.
He's basically inviting a bunch of teenagers to come watch C-SPAN, live C-SPAN.
Yeah, like your trip to DC, go watch how money's made.
Yeah.
A woman in front of a cave, some kind of entryway, tells us that only concerned parties are allowed past this point. But Victor's got this. He says, I'm Victor, a mercenary leader under contract by Muse City. The others, they're with me. Let us in. She asks for proof of identity, and Victor replies with a live one. Hey, you don't recognize my face. My face is proof of my identity.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a good line.
She's not budging, though.
She says she can't let us in. Victor can't believe this shit, but then who rolls up?
It's Flick. He pops out of nowhere and tells Victor that he's not using his, quote, good trick again. And can we please remind you what his good trick was?
To slap the shit out of somebody?
Yeah, just to get them out of the way.
Yeah.
This lady gets excited and wonders if that is Sir Flick. She says, you're the mercenary soldier, the one they call Flick of the Blue Lightning.
When she looks at Flick, she looks at Victor and says, "Who's this?" which is the funniest line of this entire game.
That's true.
Like looking at Flick as the authority figure, being like, "Who the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
Like Flick hasn't told her about. But yeah, can you explain Blue Lightning? Do we know that before? I think we talked about the Atari Lynx game called Blue Lightning before, but I don't know if...
when Flick first introduced himself to Tyr McDowell, he says, "I'm known as Flick of the Blue Lightning."
Did he self-name that, or is that...
We don't get any backstory on Flick that I know of, so beyond what we already know.
All right, for the rest of this episode, can you refer to me as the Purelator?
The Purelator?
Don't do that. It's a no filter. Victor again can't believe this shit. How come they don't know my face, but they know your face? Flick replies with a casual, "How should I know?" It's because I think Flick is more toward diplomacy, whereas Victor is more toward direct action.
Yeah.
Flick joins and we enter. Music, the Yankee Doodle Dandy song. What do you got?
Allied Armies Forever.
The Confederation Forever.
Oh, I don't know which one I like better.
I don't like the word Confederation.
I don't either. I like the word Confederation
It's fun to say.
in a vacuum.
Yes.
But I don't like the word Confederation.
Yes, the implication of angry race is
Yeah.
too much tied to it to use in casual conversation.
Yeah.
We walk into a carpeted mansion built inside of a mountain.
A carpet with a design on it, but I could not describe the carpet design because I'm not a carpet expert, so I don't know what that design is. But
A
it
complicated pattern.
is. Yes, there you go. Did you also notice that if you look through the windows when you're walking, there's a little bit of parallax scrolling going
Yeah.
on with the mountains from before? And like that's another little example of the handcrafted nature of this game. They do a little thing just to create scale.
Yes.
And that they didn't have to do. These could have just been like a blue sky or clouds.
And to do that shit in the age of polygons too was an especially unnecessary flex, but you could tell it was something like, I probably wasn't like this, but I imagine like the last bastion of pixel artists like slaving away at Konami to try to make this shit good.
Yeah.
Like pointing to Castlevania Symphony 9 going, people will talk about this in 20 years, not 64, whatever that was called.
We don't need no fucking drone shot. Look
That's
at this
right,
parallax
man.
scrolling.
Parallax the shit out of that stuff. We go through the hallway and the camera slow pans over a besuited man standing in a large room with tables and chairs. He's introducing the mayor of Muse, Anabelle, right as we walk in. Victor points to a corner and says, "We're going to do some sightseeing over there." So we make our way over. A massively armored man with a gray beard and a scar over his left eye physically bumps into Nanami.
Yeah, it's like he's doing a belly bump.
Yeah.
A little bit because
Like-
his belly is just out there.
Right,
so
he's kind of
doing
an over, like
yeah.
a John Goodman type man.
Yeah.
He says, "Out of the way, girl," double disrespect. Do you think she's respected more because they called her girl and not tomboy? Like he instantly recognized her femininity.
Well,
Like ordinarily that's an insult, but like
Nanami does take the W's when she can get them.
Yeah.
So
Nanami steps out of his way as he and his two subordinates walk by. She calls him a creep and asks what he's doing.
I think these knights, you can instantly tell, even before you see their portraits, that they are some fancy knight lads.
Oh, yeah.
Like this. These are some Allen and Grensell motherfuckers.
Camus, yeah, these exactly. That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
How are we saying Camus? C-A-M-U-S.
Camus?
Camus?
Camus.
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 One
He's a handsome man.
Camus,
It's Camus, but just keep saying Camus, I guess.
one of his lackeys who looks like Leon from Virtua Fighter 2, stops and apologizes and says, "Pardon us, milady. I believe he was but overeager. May we have your forgiveness?" Chris, is this slick dialogue to apologize, or is he just as big of an asshole and his job is just like to massage the hurt?
I think he cares about appearances, maybe more than his boss here does.
Is father drunk?
Yes, Garudo. Yeah.
Nami replies, "No, I mean yes." Miklotov, whose portrait is straight ahead, is staring straight ahead at the screen and looks like Guinan Kukai.
I got young Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, cool. That also Guinan Kukai. Very good. Ask Camus what he's doing. Camus, who I just called Camus, whose level of sincerity I cannot gauge, replies, "Just doing my job as a knight. Got a problem."
Do we need to revisit the question of our knights cops?
These are very cops.
Yeah.
These are they're not super cop is like an implication that implies Jackie Chan's there, so I don't want to say that.
Yeah.
But I think knights might be cops.
Okay.
Nanami says it's all okay. Camus excuses himself. Miklotov says it's a knight's job to be on time, and that's some shit your fucking boss says.
By the way, during the stream, Eric Van Eyne points out that both of these are named after philosophers, Camus and Miklotov.
I think of myself as an erudite man. Of course, I knew that as well. I
Yeah.
just chose not to say it.
Initializing fakenet.
The poster Rooks, on the Suikoden forums, speculates that Camus was named after Albert Camus, the famous French-Algerian atheist existentialist and author of The Stranger. He then speculates that Miklotov was named after a minor philosopher from Moscow named Nikolai Mihailovsky.
The Nami's excited because they called her a lady,
Yes.
and Jowy is speechless, which I guess means he spit some dots.
Yeah, he was like, oh shit, maybe she is a lady.
The minister person then announces, let's call him Greg,
All right.
leader of the Matilda Knights and his White Knights, Lord Gerudo.
And that's who that just was, right?
Yeah,
Just walked in.
that we met. We take our seats then.
We set like a table in the back.
Yeah.
Behind us are theater seats loaded with identical brown-haired men from Rockland.
Yes, true, thanks.
There's a curious blonde seated next to Flick. Do you know who that was?
Seated next to Flick?
Yeah. Like it was not a usual NPC. Like it looked like a designed character. I could be wrong. I just didn't recognize the sprite.
No, I didn't notice that.
The announcer announces everybody that is there.
Yeah.
And he does it in a voice that I can only imagine is the Elden Ring intro voice.
The Elden Ring intro voice?
Like the voiceover, like the overly charismatic voiceover.
The really deep, aggressive deliverer of lore.
Yes.
Yeah.
May I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
I haven't practiced this. I wanted to just improv it straight. So
I'm
it's going to
just-
be terrible, but I don't give a fuck anymore, Chris.
I'm just absolutely relieved that you didn't ask me to do this.
You going to do it at the same time? You wanna do it?
No, you're doing the whole thing.
This is stereo, right? They're making two different mics. The representative general of Two Rivers City, Lord Mackay. It's like I got a Don Pardo thing.
Yeah.
An acting mayor of Green Hill City, Lady Teresa. And the mayor of Tinto City, Lord Gustav. Mayor of South Window City, Lord Grandmeyer. And commander of Muse City, Lord Hauser. They all have exclamation points too.
Yeah.
Which is where the exclamation comes
That's well
from.
done, Eric.
Thank you.
So some of your top work.
Thanks. You want to do another take, or you think I got it?
No, Psycho Paladin Jr. says Eric's voice acting is top shelf AF. Shy32 says, the loathsome dung
Yes,
eater.
dude, like, I wish there were, I should have added adjectives to all of them, like the busted ass mayor, Lord Grano, something.
Yeah, too bad we didn't have their portraits at this point. Then it would be a little easier to do.
Yeah, FDR looking motherfucker.
Well, I'll give you a break here and let you know the music stops here, and the camera pans upward, and we can see all these people who have taken their seats. Anabelle is at the head of the table with Jess. Does that imply that Anabelle is
That's what I was wondering.
kind of the chair here?
Like, since it's at Muse, perhaps these halls exist everywhere, but since Muse is the host at the Hilltop conference that she sits. Also, did you notice unique banners are behind their respective representatives?
Yeah, I didn't notice that until the way out, but I thought that was really a really nice touch. Annabelle says, in accordance with Jowston State Agreement, I hereby begin the Hilltop Conference. Jess then explains some shit.
Jess opens it with my fucking recon intel.
The Highland Army is massed at our border. They have only 2 weeks' worth of provisions with them. We believe they'll attack soon. Yeah, he's just delivering the news.
That's like the opening monologue, the opening joke.
Right up here at the top. You had to know as a consumer of media that there was going to be some strife in this room
Oh,
at some
absolutely.
point.
I
because-
expected vigorous debate.
Yeah, which is going to happen. And I just thought about this because they mentioned the Jowston State Agreement. They're all here because of the agreement they've
The
signed.
JSA, of course.
Yeah, it's some sort of constitution type document. And what we're about to witness is a constitutional crisis. The strife that's going to be created is going to be the shattering of the collective egg of dreams.
Okay.
One could say.
Everyone's dream egg.
Yeah. Are you ready for me to describe the people, for us to describe the people that are sitting here?
Absolutely. Who's first?
I have Mackay, a man of zero confidence and swooped back blonde hair.
I've got insufferable nobleman with stupid lips and a Zach Morris haircut.
Yeah, good. He says, wait a moment. Aren't they still in compliance with the peace agreement? Jess says the Highland Army has already invaded the eastern part of Muse and has burned several villages to the ground along the way.
How do you show up to this shit and not know that?
There's no stallion here. They don't have like a fast runner to deliver messages, I guess that's the reason. Next, we have Gerudo, who is the knightly man we met earlier with a large, thick gray beard. He says, as for that, didn't Highland reply that was a trick by mountain bandits, which Eric is also called a false flag operation.
That's right.
That's what they're calling all this here.
A trick by mountain bandits.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Gerudo believes that, or do you think he's secretly like a double agent type thing, and he's just trying to spread lies and misinformation?
I think he's trying to get out of this. He does not
okay.
want to sortie his knights, I think.
I see. Then Grandmeyer speaks. I've got FDR had Robert De Niro sweeping white hair.
I have Grandmeyer, a man who looks like a goddamn Grandmeyer.
Yes, that's much better.
He says, do you really believe that Victor's mercenary army can be crushed by a group of mountain bandits, ? And I kind of half expect Victor to be like hooting and hollering in the back, being like, yeah, of course not. You tell him, we're good.
dumbass.
Yeah. Next is Hauser.
What do you got for that?
The first dark-skinned person we've seen in Suikoden.
I got holy shit a black guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, which is
it's progress, I guess.
it's rare for this era of Japanese media.
I mean, Barrett was 2 years ago, right? Not that Barrett's a shining example of a dark-skinned person, however.
Right.
And
right.
like we were medium sure there were dark-skinned people in Xenogears once we got to Nordtune. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
But
well,
an unfortunate lack of representation for sure.
I think Suikoden slowly, in terms of like various skin tones and types of people, makes good on that. Like as the game goes, as this game goes along.
Okay, cool.
As this game and this series go.
Glad to see it. Mm-hmm. He says, you can't deny that the Highland Army is massed at the border. It is a fact. And this represents a threat to the city-state.
By the way, we should also know that the Hauser, he looks hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a serious...
I trust him immediately.
He's a serious, tight fade, a military-looking kind of guy.
Jarhead.
Yeah. Gustav, who is a man who has Count Chocula eyebrows and a cloak.
I got Sam Donaldson with Tony Stark's facial hair.
Sam Donaldson, good one. Yeah, good pull.
Who was also the Count.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. The Highland Army has approached the border before, and they've never truly attacked. Why should this be any different?
Idiot skeptic.
Mm-hmm. Next, we have Teresa, a blonde-haired woman who has a curious-looking expression.
Oh, shit, I got curious-faced blonde woman.
Yeah, well, I mean, and it's not that
she's a hand on her chin.
Her face doesn't look curious. She looks as if she's a curious person.
She's always inquiring with her speech.
Yes, rather, we always comment about like when we have like characters with portraits that are like strong-looking and fierce-looking. She's not that, but she's also not weak-looking like that one dude we met a minute ago, Makai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just, more than anyone else in Suikoden, I'm aching for the female characters to break out of stereotypes of 90s JRPG female characters, which Odessa kind of did in the previous one, and Anabelle does to an extent too, but I want to see more like agency behind them.
Yeah. She says, the commander of the Highland Army has changed from Agaris Blight to his son, Prince Luca Blight.
That's why things are different.
Yeah, which is a really excellent point. That like that's why things are going different here.
It's like when Triple H took over creative at WWE.
Oh, Jesus.
That happened today, but 6 months from now, we'll see the results of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And has Vince McMahon been charged with federal crimes? Who knows?
I don't think. Yeah. At this point, when this airs,
no, there was something today where he was using the publicly traded funds for his own like shit.
I mean, I assume nothing bad will ever happen to that guy. Like he's fuck.
I think he'll be charged with federal crimes by the time this podcast comes out.
Would you like to make a...
I'm not saying he'll be convicted. I'm saying charged. What, a bet?
Loser buys a sandwich.
Okay, loser buys a sandwich.
Great.
When's this episode come out?
December?
Nope. First podcast of 2023.
Oh, God.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Vince McMahon must be charged with...
Yeah.
All right. Gerudo solidifies his character and says, oh, so you can't pay your annual rice offering for 3 years, but your mouth still works fine, I see. And I picture like all of his boys getting hype behind that because she couldn't pay her rice offering.
Yeah.
Teresa hits him with a how dare you. And imagine the house and the rabble as this happens about the rice offering fucking bullshit.
They're really, it would have really been a nice touch if they would have had some like rabble rousing NPC.
Like crowd noise.
Like crowd noise here, like the Chrono...
Yeah, the court scene. Right?
Chrono Trigger court scene, yeah.
Gerudo cowers further. He says, it's just as Lord Gustav said. They'll run at the first sign of battle. I'm certainly not going to expend my knights for this. Makai says the people of Two River are also tired from many battles.
Yeah, they don't love battles, Eric.
Is it Two River or Two Rivers? Gotta be Rivers, right?
I got River right here, but...
Damn it.
We'll see.
Anabelle tries to call order. She says, Luca Blight is more demon than man. If you break through Muse's defenses, the state will be in shambles. In the name of our mutual oath, I order you to provide troops to protect Muse City, capital city, the city-state of Jowston.
I regret not having the Luca Blight referred to as Demon Count in this game, because it's been like 5 now.
Yeah, shit.
We would have never known. That would have been...
He can only do it as he play it. Gustav isn't sold, though. He says, I'm not afraid of your threats. What good is it if I protect Muse and my people, the people of Tinto, starve? Weird sentence.
Yeah, I was... the fact that I read the sentence in my notes, thought it looked awkward, and was waiting to see what it actually was.
Yeah. Nope. Same thing. Grandmeyer stays frosty. He tells Gustav that it was an order in the name of the state, and he should watch his damn mouth. A merc runs in and tells something to Jess as music Sedition plays.
Yes.
Jess reports, the Highland Army has slaughtered our border guards and they're reportedly heading to Muse. And again, I would love like the false flag. I think, fucking...
Well, the false flag, the guy who declared the guy who declared false flag was Gerudo, and he's the first one to speak. He's like, oh, seems like they're serious.
My next note is, if this game were made today, the dumbest people in the room would be screaming about a false flag.
Well, The dumbest people in the room, the Knights of Matilda, confirmed.
Yeah. Anabelle reiterates, you all heard I'm ordering all of you to gather your armies. Gerudo says, then fades to black, which is not a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
The Confederation forever resumes playing. The gang gets up from the table, and Victor suggests we go back. But I don't.
Oh?
I take Rio up to Annabelle's chair at the head of the table. I announce myself as Jowston Emperor, along with my husband, Mercenary. And then I leave.
Oh, that was a great sequel, Eric.
Let's Climb That Hill plays, and we're gathered in Muse right outside the entrance to this place. Victor speaks. I love Victor. You're right. You were always right about Victor. So that was pretty interesting, huh?
Victor's so good.
Nanami says an all-timer. You think so? Looked like a bunch of old men talking to me. Victor laughs and guesses she was right, then says he's tired from all the sitting and we should head to Leona's place. Jowy hits him with dots. And go ahead. What's up with Jowy and the dots? Is Jowy is he disillusioned at this point?
I was going to ask you, are these dots like him becoming contemplative, or him just having nothing to say about that shit that just happened?
I think Jowy understands war in a way that others didn't, because he just used fucking dark magic to maybe slaughter 1,000 people, and Victor is being very flippant about this, and I think that flippancy is reflecting on Jowy, and he's like, these motherfuckers aren't serious. People are dying and they're not serious.
Yeah.
That's what I think the dots are for. In that.
Okay. Yeah. So that kind of is a combination, because I was thinking of one or the other. Is he having thoughts about the geopolitics, or is he having thoughts about these fuckos right here?
Yeah, or maybe he's just hungry.
But it's both.
Yeah.
Because he seems to be doing it a lot. Yeah.
We get to Leona's. Anabelle and Jess are waiting for us there, which seems strange that the city councilman would go to the bar.
Yeah. Also, it's weird that, well, not weird, but just to point out, you know how I miss Templeton and Anita?
You miss him literally, not metaphorically.
I don't miss him. Yeah. I try to go get Templeton now, but the gates are locked, so you can't leave if you want to.
Dummy. No map for you.
I did get him, but not now.
Victor speaks, hey, what a surprise. I was watching the meeting too. It was rough, but you did well. Anabelle replies with a diplomatic, well, just part of my job. Nobody's giving full cooperation, but nobody wants anyone destroyed by Highland either. Sounds like a functional government, Chris. Chris, this government, better or worse than ours?
It depends on how much they how much they
their military budget surplus given to the local cops.
I was going to say it's about how much they try not to be gross about this.
It's okay. It's a podcast. No one will ever hear this, except for everyone that listens.
It depends on how much they beat off to their own constitution.
Okay, thank you. I think about the founding fathers when I do that. Whether I'll be able to sell the children I have out of wedlock. Victor asks what she wants. Anabelle doesn't waste any time. She says, Victor, I need you to somehow slow down the Highland Army. It will take 7 days to gather all of the state forces, but the Highland Army will be here in 5 days. Chris, she's doing a word problem.
Yeah.
2 days would be enough. Just buy us 2 days. And that's a fair ask for Victor and 10 guys, right?
Yeah. He's got me now.
Apple is here. She speaks. She says 2 days. We battle outside Muse and maybe bloody their nose a little. Yeah, I think we can buy you 2 days. I like bloody their nose a little as an expression of slow them down.
Yeah.
Because bloody nose, you can still fight during that, but shit sucks.
Yeah.
Victor seems to be offended. He says, you'll never change. You ask for crazy things like they're nothing. The idea of us alone trying to stop that Luca blight. Anabelle no-sells this offense and tells Victor they're counting on him. Also, they're expecting reinforcements from the Matilda Knights to arrive early.
The Matilda Knights were just introduced to us as assholes.
Yes.
And that immediately makes me think, oh, they're not going to show up.
Right.
Because they've set the table for that, then that's going to happen. So what they're saying is, only trust your fist, the police will never help you. Because the police aren't coming. We got to do this ourselves.
Yes, perfect. Flick thinks we can handle it if it's just slowing them down. Anabelle replies, thanks, handsome. Chris, thanks, handsome. They fucking...
Who, Victor and Anabelle?
Yeah. No. Flick and Anabelle.
Flick?
She just called Flick handsome. She treats Victor like a colleague. Flick was just called handsome. We know Flick is the reluctant, 9-inch penis man that can give it to anyone, right?
We know that?
It was implied from the date that Flick was set up on last time. He keeps getting marooned. And in the future, he also gets marooned into more sexual hijinks.
Yeah.
Right? I think I think Flick can lay it down thick to whomever he wants, anytime he wants, but is cursed by his gift.
Okay. Well, then you answer yes, they are.
Okay, good. Thank you. That's my fan fiction in my head.
Yeah. It's called headcanon.
Yep, getting head. Okay. Victor gets jealous, saying they can't refuse a request from a fine lady, and Flick hits him with dots. So I think that like reluctance is like, oh shit, you shouldn't have said that out loud. Because now he knows. Now he knows. Jowy takes a step forward and asks if we can fight with them.
Yeah, Anabelle says it's wrong to get us guys involved in this whole mess. She asks us for forgiveness.
Politician.
Yes. She goes on to say that we don't need to do anything more than we already have. She says, quote, this is a problem for us adults.
They have no idea what Jowy's done.
No, and they don't know about Rio's particular power either.
Yeah, I mean, they're still infantilizing us.
Yes.
But I think this is like calculated reluctance from Anabelle because she's about to ask us to do some shit. She's like, oh no, I possibly couldn't. I can't.
Jowy then asked for me, the hero, Rio, his permission to join this war.
Yeah.
Since I am the hero, I must fight a war, so I say of course.
I say of course too. I can't stop this machine and I know it.
Nope. Anabelle tells us not to get killed immediately. That's her first response,
Yes.
I think. She says that she will tell us about Master Ginkaku after we get back. And I think she already owes us the explanation for that.
Yeah, she already had that loaded into her head and now she's just like kicking the can further down the road to manipulate us.
I'll pay you next week.
Yeah, great politician. Wonderful. Anabelle tells Victor she has to get back and she knows he'll do a good job. Victor replies, yeah, you're right. Confidence, Chris. I wish I had that kind of swagger and confidence. The next morning, Nanami wakes Jowy and Rio up, telling them that everyone is meeting outside. Jowy says he was already awake. In fact, he could not sleep. In the lobby at Leona's, Apple is telling the gang that the Highland Army advance forces are close. If we can beat them, we'll have done our job. Victor reiterates that it isn't our job to beat the whole damn army, just slowing them down is enough. Quote, but remember, if we don't protect Muse and it falls to Highland, it's all over, so give it all you got. Flick tells us to gird ourselves for battle. Chris, what do you gird yourself for?
I don't know the word gird. I was taken aback by the word gird. What the fuck does gird mean?
Prepare.
Initializing fake
It means to prepare oneself for something difficult or challenging.
Why?
Prepare yourself for battle. Like, why use gird? Because to flower the language, because English has multiple different ways to say a bunch of things to like spice it up for a slightly different meaning.
Fake Nat, what's the etymology of the word gird?
Initializing fake
Old English Gidan, of Germanic origin, related to Dutch Gordon and German Girton. To gird one's loins also appears in the Bible, Job chapter 38 verse 3.
Okay, that helps.
I know gird your loins for love from something, and I think it was Grand Theft Auto Hot Coffee, but I'm not sure like what.
Oh.
Fake Net, what am I thinking of?
Initializing fake
God, I hope it's acceptable.
It is indeed from the cut hot coffee content in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
I tell Victor I'm ready and we're off.
Yeah, I've already girded myself.
Major battle, Muse City.
All right, we're girded.
No music for me? Chris, what music you got?
Eric, it's War BGM 1 for those of us playing the patched version or playing the Japanese copy of the game.
That song upsets me because it's like a minute and 15 seconds.
Yeah, it's obnoxious.
Yeah.
Because I think most of these battles early on, you're just buttoning through.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming there's more war BGMs later because that's number 1, but I hope so.
So spoilers for this battle. The first time I did this, I did it exactly perfectly, but my save got corrupted in about an hour from now, and I had to redo this battle. It took me like 15 times to do it like I did it on accident the first time.
Yeah, this is
You need to get some shit right here.
Yeah.
It's the fact that it's the second one of these battles. Solon G is here, and he says, it's that guy, Victor again. This time I'll kick his ass. Victor's a perfect it's that guy, too.
Yeah.
Victor no-sells that, saying all we have to do is slow them down. Apple basically says all we got to do is defeat Solon G's units, which gives the player like an objective to focus on.
Right.
Start of the battle. Flick and Victor still move on their own. Apple says she'll give us 2 state reinforcement units. Chris, we were children this morning, and now they've given a 16-year-old with no battlefield experience 2 state reinforcement units.
Yeah, how many men are in these units? 100? 150?
Yeah. I don't know. 12, anywhere from 12 to 2,000.
Yeah.
Mid-battle, Flick and Victor recognize someone on the other side.
Yeah, it's somebody named Gilbert.
Yeah, I was like, Gilbert, is that a Suikoden? Who the fuck is Gilbert?
I had a bit of an issue here with Gilbert because I don't remember this at all, but I do have some sort of weird PTSD from a Gilbert recruitment scenario. But
Well, it's this.
It is from this, but it's also from a different game.
Gilbert's in a different game?
Well, there's a person named Gilbert in which there's a scenario that you have to recruit his friend Canopus in the third level.
What was that?
Canopus in the third level.
Canopus or cannabis?
Canopus. Pus.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Yeah. We have to recruit Gilbert's friend Canopus.
Stop saying that.
In the original Ogre Battle game, and there's a Gilbert there and a Gilbert here.
Ogre Battle?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I thought you meant a different Suikoden. Okay,
yeah. And it was difficult for me to do as a child, and so was this. Or not difficult, but just, random.
Annoying.
Yeah.
Well, may your Gilbicus
So
cling together.
So I thought I was like, oh, it could have been that. It had to be over battle. So I was just coasting on this, and it just worked out for me.
God damn it. Apple is like, do you know this guy? If we could get him to switch sides. But Flick and Victor can't believe he's working for Highland. During his turn, Flick then fire spears some folks. We tortured some folks.
Yeah, I thought we decided flamethrowers are not war crimes.
I think if you know the guy and you still torture him, that might...
Oh, he shot him at Gilbert.
Yeah, he shot Gilbert. Like, he just killed Gilbert's men and, like, roasted Gilbert crispy. Like, Gilbert's portrait should have, like, hot dog smoke effects.
So do I hit the button?
I think it's a war crime to roast your friends and murder, like, just to, like, get him to, as part of a convincing...
The vibe is there,
Yeah.
at least. Okay.
The Suikoden 2.
4.
Apparently that was Gilbert. Victor says he lost his touch and Gilbert growls. Flick asks Gilbert to join our side. Quote, a proud warrior like you shouldn't take money from scum like Luca Blight. And this can apparently not happen in this battle at all. It can happen at different times. It's supposed to happen early to get it to go the way you want.
Yeah.
Gilbert replies with a very poignant, I guess this is fate. Okay, I'll do it. Gilbert then attacks his buddies. Solon G can't believe this shit. Gilbert apologizes and says he'll send a refund.
Which is a good line, by the way,
it's
for
good.
mercenary.
Like, I don't need your shit. We bully tortured this man into joining us, Chris.
In my game, he was on the Flichter.
Flichter, he did it again.
In my
Flichter count.
In my game, he was on the left-hand side of Flick's unit, and Flick's horse shot fire out of its butt.
Okay,
because
great.
it didn't turn.
Fire
to do
farting.
it. Yeah, it was great.
In some versions of my playthrough, Gilbert was killed here and now. And like at some point, Gilbert I had to look it up, different lines for when he retreats from battle and when he's actually straight up killed.
Yeah.
And he was straight up killed in mine. Also, Flick was killed in mine. I don't know if he said he was killed, but Flick said like, I never imagined dying like this or some shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, they can't remove Flick from the game because there's too much.
I'm just making sure, man, because I don't know. I don't know if he's like an Eris type character who's supposed to get eliminated early on.
Yeah, that would be a weird time for us to do.
I mean, all I know about Flick is he's the blue lightning and he lays pipe. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just move my guys around over and over. At some point, Mikhailov, Mikkelbob teleports in with some guys. At some point, he says, I'm here to assist Sir Victor of Muse. Is Victor a sir, or is that just a sign of respect?
Victor's not a sir.
All right.
Like if he was
Mikhailov just a professional.
Victor could be knighted probably in the Tauran Republic if they have knights there.
Yeah.
But he forgot to call them and say I'm alive.
Oh, okay. Good. Great. Most of this battle continues automatically. Somebody kills somebody named Colgan. Apple tells me I can repair units by moving them back to the village. I do not do this. At some point, Camus teleports in to tell Miklatov that Gerudo told them to withdraw their units immediately.
Yeah, they were really helping out too.
I know. Miklatov can't believe this shit. He says, what are you saying, Camus? Our knights should turn our backs on the enemy and run? And my guy, I think, is like upset that Camus would violate the knight code, that for some reason Miklatov still believes that like cops can do good. Camus hits him with some logic. It's a knight's duty to follow the orders of his siege lord. Have you forgotten your oath? And Miktalov says, very much resigned.
Damn.
Hit him with that logic, Chris.
Damn.
They Burley. They teleport. That was like Barry White. Do that again. That's nice.
Damn.
Yeah, that's good. Keep doing that over and over. Remix that shit. They teleport us out and Flick can't believe this shit, asking what's the matter with them. Victor says, looks like someone is up to some nasty tricks here. If Muse falls, it'll be your next on the line next.
Jowy has another dot moment right here.
Yes. Like, I think Jowy is losing faith in systems piece by piece. Like, he stopped believing in Victor after Victor wrote off the conference. And now that he saw, like, these honorable knights just, like, peace out based on some bullshit chain of command.
And it's interesting, they've done this, like, 3 or 4 times now where they've had Jowy just do dots just to get little, like, minuscule pieces of foreshadowing.
Yeah. And I know Final Fantasy VIII got derided for whatever's in its dots and shit like that, but I wish Suikoden 2 would say some more because it's using the dots. I mean, I get it, but I want like more flavor than dot flavor. I don't like Dippin' Dots all the time. I only want the ice cream of the future sometimes.
Yeah, when you're at the zoo.
That's right.
Looking at monkeys.
That's it. Fucking nitrogen. Solon G laughs and says, today was just a greeting. Tomorrow your head will be decorating the walls of this city. Flick asks him to try it if he's got the guts. The enemy then teleports out, and Apple says that somehow he managed to slow them down. So that's as a W for us. We got a victory out of that.
We won. I think if they would have kept going, then they would have killed us. So I'm not really sure.
Then our heads would be decorating walls. Now we're back in Muse. Is what cursed song plays?
Climb that hill, or let's go climb that hill. Victor,
just Leono's Tavern. Go ahead.
Victor tells us that we fought well. Now he wants us to get some rest, and it fades out.
Cool noise.
Yeah, thanks. Fades back in. Nanami's in my room, and I speak with her.
Yeah.
And the music stops. She says, "Hey, Rio, can I tell you something?" I say, "Sure."
You can also reply, "I'm kind of tired," which is a great thing to tell somebody who wants to tell you some special shit.
Yeah. Nanami tries to get on the topic of like, why? Like, why are we doing this? Why do we keep loving battles and fearing nothing? She's trying to have a conversation with Rio about how we should just get the fuck out of here, I think. And I think that's the conversation she wants to have.
She
but
keeps
it never
cutting
comes.
herself off mid-sentence to like redo the thought in her head to make it more articulate, but she can't get to it.
Do you think that Rio, the character, I know the character's not really written that much, but are you perceiving Rio right now as going with the flow here, just being wrapped up in the things that people are asking him to do, or if he does, does he have some sort of sense of justice or debt to Victor that he keeps doing this? If
Rio is the protagonist and Rio is me, then Rio knows that he's good at battle and he's starting to fear nothing. Yeah. And he admires Victor's charisma. So he's kind of like, that would be logical, but also we can't go home. Yeah. We got no jobs. We're kicked out of our army. We have nothing else going on for us. And I don't want to be a townie. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like I can fight. I have skills. Me and my hetero life mate over here, Jowy, are just going to be bros till the end. Right? That's what I'm thinking, because I'm not picking up on any of Jowy's dot aspersions.
Before she can really get too deep into her point, she stops herself. She says, "No, forget about it. There's no choice, I guess. We have to protect ourselves. Good night, Rio." It pans over to the other room before it fades out. Jowy is speaking with a ninja. It seems like we're catching him, this whole thing going on mid-conversation.
Yeah, it's mid-sentence.
Jowy says, "Tell them," just like that. Then it's fucking Kage.
It's Kage.
Who doesn't have a portrait this time, who says, "I understand. It will be just as you order." Then he disappears.
Why did he not have a portrait?
I guess because my assumption is that either it's an error or Kage is not going to be back in this game. This is his only role.
Okay, and just if you didn't listen to the first 22 episodes of this damn season, Kage was in Suikoden 1.
Yes, he was the Star of Destiny who we hired for a certain amount of bits.
As Chris notified it by saying it's fucking before introducing his name. He also teleports? Are we supposed to interpret that literally, or did he use like Ninja Vanish, Ninja Turtle shit to get out?
Yes.
Okay.
Effect.
It happened right as Pilika walked in the room, so I think he was just like saving himself.
Yeah.
She hits Jowy with some dots that end in a question mark. Thanks, Mark.
Shepard.
Jowy then says her name, then says, "Don't worry, it's just the wind." Pilika doesn't seem to buy it. Then Jowy tells her to hurry and get some sleep. So Jowy is stuck with this kid who he's now lying to over and over.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, that must be the only thing that's tugging at Jowy.
Oh, for like to not just completely go off the,
And I think that's probably the point of this scene is for her coming here to sit to, this is one of the first moments when Jowy is cutting those strings.
He's tested.
Mm-hmm.
She gets in bed and then Jowy monologues. A lot of dots. "I hope I'm taking the right path." Fade to black.
Jowy is taking a path.
Yeah.
And now us as the player, we are fully aware that Jowy is taking a path and it can't be our path.
And there's no coming back from the path that he's on.
But he exactly right. He's in too deep. He can't turn back. He's already,
He's made some plans.
Yeah.
He's cut some deals.
Okay, now it's morning and we're waking up again. And Nanami comes into the room and says, "Okay, it's morning. Everyone's waiting downstairs.
Let's climb that hill, please."
This is the slow progression of Nanami being less chipper in the morning, because normally she runs in like at Sprite 2x speed, wakes everybody up, and everybody gets mad that she's waking. This time she's getting a little bit more solemn.
But isn't her portrait still like open mouth screaming?
Yeah. Nanami of any character could use like a second portrait.
A second one is like as she gets more downtrodden toward the game. Let's climb that hill, plays, and we go downstairs, and Flick and Victor are drinking at their usual table. Chris, is this coffee or booze?
It's breakfast mugs.
Okay.
Yes. It's coffee stout. Yeah.
He greets Jowy and Rio, and Nanami reminds Victor that she's here too. He apologizes and says, "You're going to see Anabelle today, aren't you? Tell her what a great job I did, okay?"
Yeah, that sounds like something Victor would say.
I also picture Jowy internalizing that as he didn't fucking do anything, being further disillusioned.
Yeah.
Nanami asks who did a great job. Flick laughs and tells us not to go outside the city because of the whole Highland army amassing their forces thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go to City Hall as Silent Room plays.
Quiet room, yes.
I go to Annabelle's office and find an argument between mayors. Grandmeyer is speaking to Lord Gustav and says, "Are you saying that Tinto City will not cooperate?" Gustav hedges. "That's not what I meant, but as long..." Hey, do you want to just act this whole thing? You're going to be Grandmeyer and I can be Gustav?
Yeah, you be Gustav. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, you got to do Grandmeyer's thing first then.
"Are you saying that Tinto City will not cooperate?"
That's not what I'm saying, but as long as we don't know the Highland Army's intentions, I'm not going to commit my troops.
"I think their intentions are clear. Perhaps you're just frightened."
"How dare you? It was the South Window Army who retreated at the first sight of blood during the Scarlet Moon Empire War."
"You're a fool. War isn't a gambling game."
Chris, what was the Scarlet Moon Empire?
Okay, I'm going to chime in here from the future in order to more appropriately and correctly answer the question, because apparently I could not get it right in 2 takes. The Scarlet Moon Empire is, of course, the country to the south of Jowston. This is where Suikoden 1 took place, as we remember. We know a good bit about the 2 civil wars that happened here. There was, of course, the Succession Wars and the Gate Rune Wars, the latter being the war detailed during the plot of the first video game. According to the wiki, which cites the Suikoden Kiwami, the encyclopedia type thing, the Succession Wars began in the year 446, and this is where our good friend Barbarossa Rugner rose to power. The following year, 447, is when the town of Pilika, which we remember from the first game, was captured by Jowston. Eventually, the Jowston army was repelled by Barbarossa Rugner, Emperor of Scarlet Moon, and the 6 great generals, according to the wiki. But the following year, 448, the war was still raging. Barbarossa wanted to continue the war and to get all them Jowston forces out of the Scarlet Moon Empire, but popular sentiment across the land dictated that war must change. War must end. And the people were quite weary, having just emerged from a power struggle in the Succession Wars. However, Barbarossa's chief strategist Leon Silverberg suggested a plan that would be sure to turn public sentiment back to the pro-war side. This, of course, was the operation known as the Kaleka Incident, in which the Scarlet Moon Empire went in and slaughtered its own people in order to turn public opinion back towards war. This wasn't the only fighting between the Scarlet Moon Empire and the city-states of Jowston. They also invaded briefly during the Gate Rune Wars, and if you remember back to the original game, Matthew sent out false intel to bait the Jowston forces into attacking Kasim Hazil's forces near Moravia Castle.
Anabelle tells him to stop, this isn't worth arguing about, and Gustav says he's not ready to commit those troops, then leave, that's it. Anabelle gets up, and when she exits her desk, Jess again has to briefly back up, but then gets back to where he was standing after she passes
Yeah,
through.
it's like that's on a macro.
Yeah, there's some subservience there. Annabelle says she's in the middle of negotiations and then asks if we can come back this evening. Chris, I think the negotiations are over.
Yeah.
Political answer. Nanami says yes, of course. Rio and Nanami leave, then Jowy starts to leave, but then backs up and looks at Anabelle. He says, Lady Anabelle, may I ask you something? Why are you fighting, lady? What do you hope to get from this war? Anabelle replies with the hardest answer of all time. She says, I'll get nothing from it. I fight so we won't lose. I was born in Muse, raised in Muse. It's natural that I want to protect her.
It's such a good line.
Do you think she almost said, and I'll die in Muse, but didn't want to, discourage hope?
I don't think she almost said it because she doesn't believe it.
Okay. Yeah, that's smart. Good leader. Jowy hits her with what?
Dots. It is the
shit.
Yeah, the succession of Jowy spitting dots has reached maybe its culminating moment.
Yeah.
Because all these dots, this one especially, is there to let us know that Jowy is listening and he's not telling us what he's thinking.
He's finding out what everybody's fighting for and deciding for himself what he has to fight for.
Yes.
He's trying to develop his own code inside of his head.
Yeah, it's a lot of really good tiny micro bits of foreshadowing. I really like how all that's building to the very obvious moment if you're paying attention to the game.
Can I coin a new term that we hopefully remember? Micro foreshadowing? Microforce.
Microforce?
Yeah.
Is micro foreshadowing?
Jowy's microforcing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hit the record button this time, so.
Good. Great. It'll be on tape.
Then we go back to the tavern, right?
Yeah, we get back and Flick is chatting up Leona and Pilika. He turns to greet us and says, that was fast. Didn't you go see Anabelle? He's like, yeah, but she told us to come back at night. She was busy. It looked like she was arguing about something. Flick seems to understand. He says, yeah, well, that figures. She hasn't really seen it with her own eyes how scary blight is.
That's interesting that Flick would say that because he has, I'm assuming, has observed the difference between what he's seen out in the battlefield versus what's happening on the political side of things. And he understands that what he sees flavors the way he perceives things versus these people sitting around in this round table area.
Pilika rushes over to Jowy, and Jowy takes a step aside and does not make eye contact with Pilika and tells her he's sorry. Because like he's not looking at her when she rushes up to him because he's about to do some dirt.
Yeah, and this game usually wants you to know when eye contact is being made at certain moments.
It will phrase sprites.
Yeah.
Then he asked Nanami to play with Pilika for a while. Nanami's like, yeah, sure, but yo, what's up, dude? Jowy does not answer. But Nanami starts playing with Pilika anyway. Jowy then says he's sorry, then leaves. Nanami is in the bedroom, so I go to talk to her. I save. I turn the game back on and try to rest, but I have no potch. Nanami has disappeared. I can't go into City Hall. When I go to the center of town, Rio walks in place, then freezes. I spend 2 hours getting back here on a Saturday from a save I made hours ago.
Jeez.
Yeah. That's why I had to fight that battle over and over and over again doing this shit.
Wow.
I talk to Nanami much later, and she tells me to get some rest, and we get a choice. I'm kind of worried about Jowy, or, yeah, I know. What'd you tell her?
I said, I'm kind of worried about Jowy.
Worried about my boy.
Yeah. The Nami wonders what is bothering Jowy. She reassures Pilika that Jowy isn't mad at her. She tells Pilika it will be okay.
Twice. It's okay. It'll be okay.
But Eric, we don't know if it'll be okay.
I have no idea if it's going to be okay.
Because the podcast is okay, because it's recording this time.
So it's all right. We did it.
But you know who's also okay?
The real net.
Initializing real net.
All right, let's read the real net comments. Did I do a voice earlier?
Yes, we both did.
Even earlier in the thing? Oh, no. Yeah, it was yours. Okay. Actually, no. Cal L says that this is your loathsome dung eater voice or whatever.
We'll call it that, yeah.
Cal L says, I want to hear a conversation between that guy and Karsh.
just well, two men screaming in their basement.
We'll do a whole podcast like that if we reach $2,000.
Dude.
We'll blow our vocal cords out. There's no way we could do that.
Well, a whole podcast could be a 5-minute podcast.
Okay.
Of bonus material.
How about we'll do the
notes.
How about we'll do the intro to like
a pod. Yeah.
One podcast in those voices.
We should do it anyway.
Yeah.
It'd be a bonus pod though, not like a main line. Men shouting. I don't need to hear any more.
When we reach $2,000, it's more along the lines of
that's in the realm of possibility at this point.
And also it's just really a matter of if we feel like it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Flipmanic says Hauser is about to bust some Pegasus meteor fist any moment now. He does look like he's like ready to explode.
Yeah, he may be. I hope he's not. His only trait is an aggression.
Yeah, I really don't remember the character at all. Gilbert says Anabelle hits all the Odessa mommy notes that Flick thinks he needs.
Yeah, but like Odessa was like false mommy. She wasn't mommy age. Anabelle is definitely an experienced woman. Like she has the experience to back up the ambition. Anabelle seems like she's seen some shit. Odessa wants to see some shit.
Yeah. Apparently you said hot dog smoke effects.
Yeah.
Pretty good line. Some love from Eric Von Nine on the comment from Victor that says, I'll send you a refund. Just
right, that was Gilbert.
What'd I say?
Victor.
Oh, yeah, it was Gilbert. It does sound like a Victor line, though. Psycho Paladin Jr. says, Victor can and will only be knighted in Fuckhouse Castle.
That's right. The only place that can knight such a man. Come visit me at the Fuckhouse.
Eric Von Nine says, I do read Rio as really passive at this point in the game. In part, that's because he's a silent protagonist. Nanami is so energetic. Jowy's doing his thing right now, and Flichter are mostly doing...
You just said Flichter again.
Well, that's what's written here. Like, you know...
It's become a thing now?
Yeah, I guess. Flichter are the ones that are doing most of the actual actions, which is true. We are like being drug along by Victor, basically, for the early parts of this game. We're still in the tutorial, kind of.
Well, I mean, Final Fantasy 13 had what? How long till Grand Pulse? Like, there's some future precedent for this.
Don't know, never made it. Cal L says Flick needs a second sword so we can name it Anabelle++.
I think it would be awesome if Victor got another sword and just called it Odessa. Just fuck with Flick.
That would be a Victor move. Good comments tonight. Okay, thank you, RealNet, for joining us tonight. We'll see you in the next episode, which is soon. This episode is a production of Retrograde Amnesia, recorded on July 25th, 2022. Find us on Twitter at RetroAmnesiaPod. Email the podcast at retrogradeamnesia.com. I should just stop putting the email address. The email address is podcast@retrogradeamnesia.com.
We haven't got an email in months.
Better make sure it's working. Somebody send an email. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/retroam. Get early access, bonus episodes, miniseries, and access to the RealNet. Thank you, Mark
Shepard,
for the intro music.
You're welcome, Chris.
Eric, until next time.
Yes, we're going to blight this Blightman.
And now you may go back to sleep.
Really? But is there like a calculated release point so that the range of spin is calculated? Because there has to be like, what, a 50% margin of error depending on where the axe hits, right?
It depends. No,
There's only a sweet spot where
it's
the axe
about
can make
getting a
connection.
consistent, at least for a novice, it's about getting a consistent distance with a consistent force on the throw. And for me, I was standing a little bit to the left and flicking my wrist a little bit.
Yeah.
And getting that consistent and the release consistent. And once you find that range, then you're good.
Did your handicap affect you at all?
What, my left-handedness?
Yes.
Yeah. No, it actually gave me an advantage because nobody could copy my technique.
Oh, nice.
Although we were not really playing competitively.
No, it's competitive.
It is competitive.
Did you win?
We played the classic boys versus girls.
Okay, that always goes well with weapons-based combat.
Yeah, and we only needed to play like one and a half rounds before it was like just
Smash them
just
into
over.
the fucking earth.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Take that, spouses.
But I'm pretty sure that everybody except for a person who will remain nameless got at least one bullseye. So you
Okay,
know,
good. Yeah, everybody
had a nice
wins.
time.
Sorry I wasn't there.
Also, there were some serious fucking go-kart guys there.
Oh, go-kartman.
Yeah, have you ever met one of these guys?
I've been to a go-kart track before and talked to people who hang out there all the time. It's a special breed of like mixture of like hardcore kid and like dirt garage people.
Yeah, it's right. It's a different evolution of slot car guy.
Okay. Slot car guy is like more, I think I'm like the more nerdy tech end.
Yeah, and a little older.
Yeah.
These were mostly like probably teenagers, 20s, but I was just watching them and I was just impressed with their,
Go-kart acumen?
Yeah, I was going to say go-kart aptitude, but acumen is also a thing. So, yeah, I don't even like taking just a regular old box to the post office. I just don't like the post office experience. So I try to avoid it at all costs. So,
I mean, I'm going to skip the line guy now. I've got a special designated area to put my things.
Oh, you have a guy?
I got a guy.
All right, good for you.
He doesn't respect me, but he knows that it'll waste less of both of our time if I do this.
Yeah, and he probably doesn't care about your time. He just cares
he didn't
about.
give a fuck about. Why would he? I don't care about anybody's time at my job other than mine, really.
Okay, let's see if I can put where I can put the real net tonight.
Internet.
There's a specific portion of my monitor that I can't use, or the whole thing goes haywire. So I have to avoid that zone. It's really obnoxious.
It's awesome when you get brand new shit and it doesn't fucking work.
The grill that I bought was missing a knob and did not have or the ignition doesn't work. So I had to get those parts sent, and I had to install it my fucking self. This monitor is flickering. I bought another mouse. The scroll wheel didn't work. I'm going to stop ordering shit unless it's just a piece of paper.
I'm going to say the mouse I bought in 2005 and still use works great. You mean it'll let you borrow it?
No, I have this one.
At work.
I have this one. I want another wireless mouse because I have two computers down here a lot.
Can you fit it in your mouth?
This?
Yeah.
Probably not. My mouth's not that big. Or is it? Because I'm working on the scoring system. Because it would be, I was like, well, you could just answer on your phone with everybody else, but then you would be looking at your phone and there would not be a podcast.
Do you feel like you're over designing this?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Great.
What don't I over design?
Yeah, good point. No, it's perfect.
Okay, well, I'd have to explain all of Suikoden 2 to get to this point, though. Okay. Play all the episodes this season. No, actually,
God.
Don't do that. No, stop it. Stop. Don't do that.
What age did you know what parallax scrolling was?
Probably like 20, 25.
Yeah, it was during like the indie renaissance.
Yeah.
Like when Braid and shit came out that it was explained to me.
When I used to fuck around with RPG Maker, I remember reading something about how to do parallax scrolling, and that's when I learned what it was.
Oh, wow.
I never learned how to do it. That was a long time ago, though.
I was going to say, I played your RPG Maker game at your parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like Leon from Virtual Fighter. Oh, I said it again. Oh, my God.
Did you say virtual?
Yeah.
I didn't. Cut that L.
Fucking not even put that in the outtakes. Jesus. You ever write something in your notes, forget about it, and then discover it as you read through them again?
All the time.
That's good.
And some of these were made like this week.
Uh-huh.
Or I mean, just late last week. Oh, hold on. Whew. I was like, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. And then it was good. Great. Oh my God. The real net just caught up. So Shy Guy 32 says the sequel I never knew I needed.
If there isn't a This Is a Reality sequel, there must be a Husband Proclamation sequel.
Yeah. Eric, it's Ward.
We keep fighting. At some point, Solange laughs and when you eat ice cream in front of the monkeys, do you taunt them with it? Like, look what I got. You ever had this shit?
No, I'm
never.
Nice.
Never with your fucking life.
I'm nice to the monkeys.
I don't think Arzu has apes, not monkeys, right? Does it matter?
No, they have some monkeys too.
Okay, great.
They got a whole new monkey thing going on there.
Victor says we can get in if we stick with it. I already said that. His damn mouth.
Mhm.
Like Marty Clemens.
Damn.